Fantastic. We've got probably about 10 questions here, which
Yeah.
why don't we hit the ones that were most.
Just go, yeah, do the ones that we had earlier, and then we're going to move right on to the last part, and then I can
Yep.
stay on forever.
Yep. All right. Well, great question here from Derek Gallup. He says, Neil, great information. I think we all understand lifespan. Can we get a few key bullet points to be able to define or explain health span and play span to our members?
Okay, did you see that slide? You want me to go back to it? I'll go back to the slide. I can't, it takes a while here, guys, sorry. But I put the definitions underneath the slide. I have to do this like this. Well, you know what I could do? Am I allowed to do? Yeah,
You can.
Escape
Go ahead,
here.
Neil. Normal.
If I go here to that, I do that way I can do. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not going to screw up the. Okay, all right. So there. Now I'll go back to the presentation up here. Okay, Derek. So here it is. And this is what on this slide here. Lifespan, obviously, you got that. Like you said, health span. Here's the note. How long you're healthy. In other words, here, as I said, you've basically at age 65, 85% of Americans have one chronic disease, and almost all of them are avoidable. Almost all of them. Remember that. 50% have two chronic diseases. That's considered health. Now you are no longer healthy, and that's why 65 is the number. Play span is this. How long you're physically, mentally able to do the activities important to you. What I always like to tell people, your play span is how long you can do the things you love to do. What do you love to do most? God, I just love, going through a walk through the mountains. I just love my garden. Well, how important? That's your play span. Okay? All right, next.
All right. And again, everybody, if we don't address your question right here, we're going to stay afterwards. So we'll get to all of them. Let's jump right over to a real popular one here, Neil. Okay. Does exceeding your body weight in grams of protein have negative effects on your kidneys or other organ systems?
I love that question because that was a 1980s question that was out there forever. And if you click on the reference there, you go to safety of protein, what the upper limit is, and you'll find all the answers completely references. And the answer is absolutely not. You can eat 4 times the RDA probably for the rest of your life and never have one little bit. In fact, we find now that there might even be healthy bone structure-wise when we thought the opposite. And listen, I was guilty like everybody else. I thought the opposite too because that's what I was taught. But all the new science points to that does not happen unless you are predisposed to a problem in the first place and you've already got a weak kidney or weak. Now, that's one last point before we go on to the rest of this here now on that. That's what Amino Boost is great for. Amino Boost has all of the amino acids that are involved in protein synthesis. So the other ones that have nothing to do with protein synthesis, they just have to do with the making of the muscle later, but you can draw that from other parts of the body. That's why that makes Amino Boost so powerful. It has a low nitrogen content because it's only got a few of the amino acids, but that's all you need to fire up the muscle building part. So for older people, that is a slam dunk. That when you get older, and of course your kidney's worn out normally anyway, that's a great way to get all the protein you need with less nitrogen. And that's, of course, what the load is on the kidneys or liver. So the answer is absolutely not. You're perfectly fine with that recommendation. And even if you go over it, you're perfectly fine.
Fantastic. Okay. And again, guys, we will address these other questions right after Neil's done with this next segment.
Yep. So let's get this one done here so we can make sure I stay to my hour. I'm going to go quickly through this. So, and I'll tell you why. Because what I just gave you is really all you need for, I would say, the majority of your clients if they're not in a hurry. No, your clients don't need any more than you saw in the play span. So if you use that play span recommendation for fat loss from the supplement side, and obviously your diet has to be less calories than they burn, so that covers the proper weight loss at the right speed. It solves all your lean body mass concerns because remember, if you don't supplement, at least 1/4 to 1/2 of the weight you lose is lean body mass. Fact. Supplementing can turn that completely around. All right, so that's the most important thing. Otherwise, your metabolism just shrinks. So the play span recommendation covers all that. Done. But if you add the targeted supplements, which is what we make weight loss easier and faster, okay, they only need that until their lifestyle conforms. So they don't have to use it for the rest of their life. They just use those to get them because they got a wedding. They got some sort of, they're going to get ready for a wedding, or they got ready for a class reunion, or whatever they're pressed for. We do this with players, NFL players that got to make weight before they get to camp. I mean, all kinds of things. So just make the compelling, this is a very compelling statement. I always tell people, I can get you there in 6 weeks, a lot easier than 12 weeks without. What do you want to do? And most of them will say, I'm going to do it. And by the way, all the references are here. You are bulletproof in these following claims with the products. With LEANMR, which is pre-post, or the pre-post. With LEANMR as a meal replacement worked into the diet are the most successful weight loss therapy there is. More than drugs, more than anything. Number one successful weight loss therapy in the world above drugs or anything is meal replacements worked into the diet. That's a claim you can support. All the references are here. Weight loss and liver support. It's a non-stimulant appetite support. We really upgraded this product. And important for organ health support, which is very important for people that are very heavy because the liver gets sluggish, the liver gets very unhealthy, and it needs help. And then Carb Repel blocks calories. Non-stimulant, they can block calories. The more you take, the more calories it blocks, by the way. It's like any other fiber. TherMACCEL speeds metabolism and cuts appetite. So those are claims that you can just rock and roll with. Those are the things that can help somebody cut the time in half and make it a lot easier by controlling appetite. So that's the time you add these things. Again, your PlaySpan covers everything for the person that's not in a hurry. All right, and a hurry is an issue. So these are just some things I put up here so you have this as a takeaway. These are all facts. Avoid plateaus is the bigger one. Really, the red is what you want to look at. Faster continuing results so they don't come to a plateau equals higher motivation to finish. And these are all the things that you need, and this is all, again, referenced up there for you. But again, supplements are way better, including meal replacements, are better than restricted diet calorie diets alone and better than any drug therapy. So keep that in mind. Okay, now let's get into each one of them quickly here. Listen, here's all I did. Because I was really lazy here, I got to tell you. I've been pretty crazy and I'm in all the world. So when I say lazy, I'm not. I want to make this easy for you. What I did, I just took this right out of the PDSRG and put it up here on the screen for you. I went right to the typical use, which is the part under this 15 pages you don't want to read. Those things you don't want to read that are for science heads. Some of you do, I know that, and they're for our advisory board because they won't bless anything until I can prove it works. If we make it, it works. It's that simple. So I put where you can click on any of these and go right to the page. So this is from the typical use at the bottom of this. This is how you use LEANMR. Again, you're always using a multivitamin, so I had to say that. You supply 2 meals a day with any calorie-restricted diet plan that you're giving them. So if they're 500 calories below their maintenance, they're eating 1,500. 2 small meals of 300 calories a day for each one of them, give you 600. The rest of it comes from food divided into 4 or 5 meals total with the 2 meal replacements. And because frequent meals obviously help with satiety. So anyway, that's how you use it. Very simple. The maintenance phase, 4 to 5 small meals a day. I try to keep people at that, you know. And, you know, for me, I use 2 meal replacements my whole life. Even as a bodybuilder, I use 2 meal replacements. Most of them do maybe 3 or 4 to ensure the diet quality stays up and you keep reducing food costs with it too. So it's much cheaper than other fast food, if you will. So again, that's the simple answer to that. And for all of you, so all of you that are want to know a little more, right below that, or right above this, I'm sorry, you'll see the summary. There's the purpose and there's unique features. We're not going to go through it. But as you can see, it gets a little more detailed. But those are just the only facts that you need to know, knowing that the 15 pages before it is all the science behind it. And for you science geeks out there like me that just have to know everything, it's all there for you. But this is the takeaway, was the previous slide, and then here's a little more detail. Okay, go to the next one. TherMACCEL. I put the bullets on top, really summarize it. Appetite control and metabolism stimulant for aggressive fat loss. People that want to go fast, this is what you use. There's, of course, the references. So this is right, the typical use. Anyone without adverse events to stimulants, seeking accelerated weight loss, avoid plateaus, ease the journey, including helping control appetite. People who need serious multiple-pronged approach to weight control, including a strong stimulatory effect to help increase metabolism. Not just metabolism, but help them move more during the day. And of course, don't use if you're taking heart medications, don't mix with other stimulants. And by the way, so if you're using NO7, make sure you take it 4 hours away from NO7 or you're going to be flying. You think NO7 makes you run your head through a wall. You add that to it, you run your head through 2 walls. Okay, so that's why it's very clear. You want to just keep them away from those things. Discontinue, after you reach your body fat goal. There's no reason to use it. Meal replacements used forever. But you don't need them after that. 4 tablets daily, 2 at breakfast, 2 at lunch, and start with 1, and then if you're great, go to 2. So there's that, and then I put the same thing here. Purpose, unique features. You want to go deeper. That's where it is right there. This is what's unique, and that's the purpose of it. And again, these are all from the summaries, anywhere from 5 to 10 pages down from the content. All right, carb repel. The take-home message, feel full sooner and longer. A non-stimulant fat loss, appetite aid for those who tend to enjoy or overeat carbohydrates. So there's no reason to take it if you don't have a carbohydrate meal. But it will cut it down. And the more you take, the more it'll cut it down. But you don't want to take a whole bunch because that will upset your stomach. It's like if you just ate a whole head of lettuce. I promise you that will block calories as well. It's a little uncomfortable, and you're going to be uncomfortable probably in the bathroom for a few hours. So the point is just follow the directions on this, and you can cut significant amount. So anyone trying to enhance body fat reduction without affecting the central nervous system, and again, just continue it. This lifestyle helps. It just gets you there, gets you over the hump of dieting. 2 tablets twice daily, 30 minutes before your largest carbohydrate-containing meals or snacks. And then I put in the purpose and unique features again on this one. This one is very unique. There's more clinical stuff behind this than you can possibly imagine. Good stuff on this one. All of them do, but I mean that one's got some special new stuff. All right, weight loss and liver support, non-stimulant fat loss aid and health aid, and health being the liver especially. Non-stimulant fat loss aid. Now, overweight people to support overweight. Overweight, of course, most of your clients might be. Many of them aren't overweight that want to lose body fat. But when they're really overweight, this makes a difference because of liver health. As we talked about, during a weight loss program, the liver, when you get fat, you don't just get fat subcutaneously, it goes into your organs as well. We call that eptotic fat. In other words, fat where it shouldn't be. So you got to get rid of that, and this really helps speed that process, and then everything starts to work better. And the liver is the most important organ we have, without a doubt. 1 tab 3 times daily, and it's not so important to take it before your meals like it was the fat release, which is a different product. So you probably don't have to worry about when you take this. That's the big pain in the ass with carb repel, remembering to take it 30 minutes before you eat. It'll still work without that, but not nearly as well. All right, and here's the purpose. Now, you can see a little more detail. Every overweight or obese person, females greater than 32%, males greater than 22% for liver health. So that's really, again, like I said, it's just a little more detail for you for those that want to know a little more. And then if you want to know everything, just go up to all the pages when you click on the reference. You'll have it all. All right, now we're going to open it up for questions, but I'm going to give you my end game here before everybody, because I know some people have to go right away. And that is that this is, I think most of you guys know what, how I grew up. I think I've been in front of all of you. I was the guy that, I probably started life with less than anybody you know. I grew up with 6 different families. I just had no parents. And growing up in motorcycle gangs, I grew up an outlaw. And at 23, I flipped the switch because sports and fitness saved my life. So I've spent my whole life figuring out how do I save the world with fitness. Once I flip, I'm last man standing. Everybody else, I grew up as a debtor in jail. So for me, everything's been about building these businesses to help save the world. And I know you guys have heard this before. So we're really, and certainly now in the legacy part of my life, it's more important than ever that I leave the world a much better place than I came in and give everybody a much better chance. So all of the businesses, the ones we just bought, you guys all know I just bought PTA Global, so we're going to build it bigger than any SM ever dreamed to be in. We're going to do, I bought PTN, so that's going to be the best membership. Every trainer on the planet should be a member of that because the information they're going to get to help themselves, their families, for the rest of their lives is going to be great. So we want to, I'm going to spend the rest of my life finding people and businesses with fitness passion, give them the tools to make everyone they touch better. That is the end game for me. Extend life, health, and play span. Save the world with fitness. Personalized fitness for every household. Easily access people like you, properly trained professionals. So my legacy hopefully will be the truth in fitness for the next generation because it's not just about your family, it's all family. Okay, so from there I will open it up to as many questions as you want.
Very good, very good. And again, we do realize some of you have to get off the call. We are recording this presentation, so I will be able to update everybody once it's done and where we'll have it. So let's jump onto these questions, though. Great question here from Will Coker. It says, Neil, Will Coker here. Can you expand on the importance of potency and why we would want our clients to have a fully integrated program? Please explain possible risks associated with a little of this and a little of that approach at the local nutrition store. Thanks, Neil.
You bet. And I know I glazed over that pretty fast. Yes, so if you walk into GNC and you pick a multivitamin mineral that's got, of course, all the vitamins and minerals in it, Maybe it's not the right dose, but close or up or down or wrong, whatever it may be. And then you buy a calcium supplement that also has the same vitamins and minerals in it, because the calcium can't work without the vitamins and minerals, right? Now you've got two products that are crossing over with magnesium, with zinc, with vitamin D. You've got two products. Now, Mrs. Jones doesn't know that the calcium has the same stuff, the multi, just buying it for the calcium, or Mr. Jones. Then you're getting an antioxidant that has magnesium and zinc and all the things an antioxidant has in it, which is why ours doesn't have any of that. Of course, you look at that, right? We're the only ones that make that. That antioxidant is to die for, the one that we make. That's all of the different, polyphenols and everything else that are completely unique. So now you take that and you add that to it, and now you've got a real problem. You are now well over the UL. UL means upper limit. Chronic ingestion of nutrients at their upper limit, the established upper limit, means that you have a greater chance of problems, whether overload on the organs. So everything that you're trying to do to protect yourself, you're actually doing the opposite. So that's the synergy of taking things properly, working together, which would never happen with our product, which is why we don't spike our powders, we don't spike our bars. If you eat a Luna bar, it's loaded with a multivitamin mineral. You eat a Quest bar, loaded with a multivitamin mineral. That's not the way to deliver vitamins and minerals. So the whole thing is just bad when you fall out of a brand like that and you're picking stuff on your own. And the potency, obviously, is what we talked about. It better be at the right level if it's going to make a difference, and stays there. All right, what else? What's next?
All right, next one. When comparing results from studies on examine.com to .fit claims, how do we convince clients to take certain supplements?
Okay, so I'm not sure I'm following that. Read that again.
When comparing results from studies on examine.com to .fit claims, how do we convince clients to take certain supplements?
Okay, so I'm not sure. Okay, I think I'd have to be one-on-one with that person to ask and kind of ferret out what they're getting at.
Yep.
A claim on whatever site you're talking about, there's only two things you need. One, the claim's useless if the ingredients about the claim aren't at the level they need to be. And as I mentioned earlier, that's all in the PDSRG for ours. So our ingredients are all at the right, and you can make the claim based on the amounts that are in there and the form of the amounts that are in there, number one. Number two, do you really know it's there? It has to be third-party tested. So if they're looking at this examine, whatever it is, and if they don't have those two pieces, let me see the references, let me open up the references and see the dosage that's used, it's matched in a clinical trial, and let me see the third party like NSF certified for sport or any of the other ones that we use as well on there as a third party saying that ingredient is actually at that number in there. And so that's the only answer you got right there, those two things.
Yeah, very good. Since you mentioned NSF certified for sport, one of the next questions is, why is LEANMR not NSF certified for sport?
Okay, a good question. So it is third-party certified, and that is on, if you click reference, it'll tell you which company. We have like 5 different companies that do it. There are many products that are not NSF certified for sport, as you know, but they're all third-party tested by a third party, and if you click on the reference at the bottom of that page, it will show you, there's a whole list of what every product is third-party tested by, so that's number one. But the reason is, the only reason we NSF third-party for sport, it's a fourth-party test. So everything's third-party tested anyway, but NSF certified for sport, you cannot sell to pro athletes, including my sons. You can't sell to them unless it's NSF certified for sport, which is another test that goes deeper and looks for banned substances, which, of course, would never be in any of our products. But it looks for all the cheaters out there that are spiking supplements with drugs. So in LEANMR, we do not sell them to pro sports because it's not a pro sport product, if you will. In other words, it's high fiber. And of course, the athletes before and after shakes are not a high fiber. Obviously, you don't want high fiber. That's a meal replacement for weight loss. So products we probably aren't going to sell in the NFL, we don't NSF certify for sport because it's ridiculously expensive. It's basically extortion. We know our products are clean, they match the label, but they make us do it again, so they make some more money.
Very good, very good. Next question I have is from Jamie from Spain. Jamie asks, I know .fit is not available in the European Union. Are these supplement company offenders that you have exposed under stricter regulations in the European Union?
Absolutely, much more. You have much higher regulation, just like Canada. Canada is brutal in their regulations, and which is one of the reasons why that's one of our third-party testing agencies is Health Canada. You have pretty much the same rules there. They do a good. Trust me, tons of things can get on your market, Jamie. slip underneath regulation. That can happen, right? So I'm not saying they're all that way, but you are much tighter, and you won't see the same. Now, however, the protein spiking that I showed you on the screen, that's happening in Europe, and I have an article that just came out about Europe cracking down on the companies now. So I would not trust any of the protein powders.